What's up, YouTube? This is DEFCON 3 Security coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. You have to excuse this little towel right here. I'm trying to hide my company logo here. And I also don't have I'm in a different car today. I got a new, an addition to the family. I got a, what is this? A 2008 Honda Civic 2-door. So I think this is car number 7 or 8. Probably, I think 7. Anyways, so I don't have like a phone mount or anything for it, and I decided not to sit in the driver's seat because there's way too much light, and then it would be like too much of a glare. So I'm gonna hold this thing, which makes it a little bit hard. So today's question from one of our DEFCON family members here was, how do you get through a 12-hour shift? Well, you asked the right person. I am literally going through a 14-hour shift today. It is, I think it's like almost 4 o'clock, and I'll be off at 9:30. So I'm more than halfway there. But how do you do it? Well, you know, that all depends on what your shift looks like, right? So if you are on a standing post, it's going to be a lot more difficult than if you are doing a 12, 14, 10-hour shift in your vehicle. In your vehicle, you know, you just basically kick back. I'm sure you're gonna have the opportunity to watch YouTube videos. You get out of your car, you stretch here and there. The main struggle with being in your vehicle on a shift that long is that you have to stay awake. You know, sitting anywhere for that many hours, you're gonna get sleepy. I don't care what kind of entertainment you have, what kind of coffee you're drinking. Your main struggle every day is going to be staying awake. Especially if you're not like working with anybody else, you're by yourself, you're like on a farm or watching a gate or watching a parking lot. It can become so boring and so quiet, you're just tempted to go to sleep. But if you're on a standing shift, it's a whole different ball game. Now you're standing up and your feet will be killing you after 10, 12, 14 hours. So how do you survive it? Well, I've got some notes here too, so let me just take a couple looks. All right, number 1, socks and shoes. Those are the most important things. If you don't have comfortable shoes, it's game over. Your feet are going to be killing you by the end of the night. Sorry, I got some activity going on. Something's happening right here. Let's turn the camera. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you guys saw that, but police were chasing somebody. Anyways, so yeah, if you don't have like comfortable shoes, by the end of the day, your feet are going to kill you. And gosh forbid you have like 3 days in a row that are like 12 to 14 hours. It's going to be murder on your feet. So get some comfortable shoes. Don't worry about how they look. Granted, most companies want you to have black shoes. So, you know, try to stay within your company standards of what they want. But as far as like how they look, man, as long as they meet the requirements of your company, don't go by look alone. Also, don't go by a name brand. I've gone with like Nike shoes. I've spent a couple $100 on shoes, and at the end of the day, they weren't that comfortable. Then I got some cheaper shoes from like Big 5 Sporting Goods, and they worked really well. So it's really about what feels more comfortable, not necessarily what they look like. And price doesn't necessarily matter. But at the end of the day, try the shoe on first. If it feels good, then look at the price later. Otherwise, you're going to let the price be the determining factor. Socks. You got to have good socks. Don't worry about all this technology tied into socks. You know, some of them say, oh, it naturally wicks away moisture and all that stuff. I found the more complicated the socks are, the crappier they are. I've had some that were like infused with aluminum, infused with brass, supposedly antibacteria. You know, at the end of the day, just whatever feels more comfortable. For me, it's like socks by Reeboks. I don't know why. They're like super thick. They tend to keep my feet feeling good. Not necessarily smells good at the end of the day, but as far as comfortability, that's the most important thing. So I got like a good pair of shoes. I got some Reebok socks. The other thing is to like change your socks mid-shift. So like right now, it sounds disgusting, but I'm sure my socks are a little bit sweaty, starting to feel uncomfortable. Like, why wait till the end of the day to take them off and be like, oh my God, my feet are killing me? Just midway through the day, refreshing your feet by just switching up those socks. The other thing is minimal gear, right? I used to carry like 3 mags on my chest, two mags on my sidearm, my bulletproof vest. I had all this crap on me, and you know that's okay sometimes, but when you're standing up as much as I do, the last thing you want to do is be weighed down by like 60 pounds worth of gear. I almost want to say unnecessary gear, but I know in some cases it can be necessary. But the reality is, how often do you need, 7 magazines? Two should be enough. Have two on your belt, call it a day. I had 3 extra mags on my chest because it acts as a visual deterrent. People see me and are like, damn, this dude looks crazy. And you would hope that maybe they think twice about doing something bad. But the reality is those 3 extra mags add a few more pounds to you. I go for Kevlar vest instead of the cheaper plate vest. It weigh like, 40 pounds. Kevlar is a lot lighter. I try to not wear any flashlights or anything on me. Keep them in the vehicle. When it's nighttime, you can like put them on, but as far as holding them on you for the whole day, it's just unnecessary. And you got to ask yourself, like, how often do you use these items? If in security, I got to be honest, I have never once used handcuffs, yet I've carried them for the last gosh know how long, and it's just unnecessary weight. Instead of handcuffs, I have zip ties now. If I really need to handcuff somebody, I can use my zip ties and then go to my vehicle if I need handcuffs later and grab those. But minimize the weight. If you're not in a position to do so, well then, I feel sorry for you. But you got to minimize the weight, even down to your clothing. Do you really need all that clothing? Everything weighs you down. I've weighed myself before and after, and I've had 60 pounds of gear on me. That's heavy, dude. That's like carrying a full-grown dog on your back all day long. So minimize your weight. Otherwise, you're going to be killing your knees. It's going to be killing your back. You're going to be exhausted. Then you're going to have the same schedule the next day. Maybe the first day you're rested and you can make it through, but then the next day you're going to be destroyed. So minimize the weight on your body. Having said that, leading into that, minimize the weight on you. If you're overweight, I couldn't imagine, like trying to hold up all that body weight. So if you're fit, if you've got your core strong, you can hold more. Some of the guys I work with are a little bit on the heavy side, and I know they struggle with holding up all that weight all day, and it's got to be murder on their knees. So I should take some of that advice myself, but lose some weight. It will definitely help you in the long haul of standing up all day. What else do we got here? How to make it through the day. Have a lot of snacks, man. Like every 2 hours, eat something. Otherwise, you're going to get sleepy. I always have like some sort of snack to snack on. Keeps me going, gives me just a little bit of energy that I need. Sometimes I have like some sugar boost. I'll eat a granola bar with chocolate chips in it or something. And again, that helps you stay alert and awake and helps you push through. Avoid sunlight if you can. If there's shade, stand in the shade, because that sun after 8 to 10 hours every single day will take a toll on your skin, but also on your body. It just wears you down. If you can't avoid the sun, bring a hat, have sunglasses. So all these little things that really help you out in the end. Again, I know a lot of guards get caught off guard. They're new on the job. The first day, they'll come out and they're unprepared. By the end of the day, they're a hot mess. So, make adjustments for the weather. Where I work at now on this site, right now it's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty hot. It's sweating a little bit. But in 2 more hours, once the sun goes down, it's going to be absolutely freezing out here. So I do layer my clothes. I can take this sweatshirt off, and I've got like another shirt under here if I need to take that off. Or I can put it on if I get cold. So you definitely want to have layers. Um, One more, frame of mind. You got to have that right frame of mind when you're working like 10, 12, 14 hours. I try to count the hours backwards. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I've got 4 more hours. Sometimes I try to psych myself out. Like right now, I'm like, okay, it's 4 o'clock. I get off at 9:30. So technically, I'm more than halfway done. And then I go, I've only worked, I've worked like 8 hours and I don't feel so bad. And I don't even have to do halfway more. I only have to do a quarter more than what I've already worked today. And you just kind of like play these little mental games to help push you through the day. Or you're like, you know what, I still have a lunch coming up, so minus 1 hour. I've got another 15-minute break coming up, so minus that 15. So in reality, I only have 3 hours to go. You do stuff like that, and it helps push you through. Also, in the case for me, today is my Friday, and it literally is Friday. And I'm thinking, okay, just make it to 9:30, and guess what? You don't have to work tomorrow or Sunday. You got a few days off. So that's kind of like the motivating factor. If all else fails, just remember, working a 14-hour shift equals dollars. And at the end of the day, it's all about that financial freedom. You start making that money, get all those hours, you buy your freedom, right? Ultimately, that's the end game. And last on the list, I don't even need to look at the list, so I don't know why I have these post-it notes. Last on the list is after work, right? So when you finish work, make sure you get some rest. There's times where, I get home and I'm like, you know what, let me watch some TV, let me do this, let me do that, and it kicks my butt the next day. Because, like, for example, next week I have to work 5 days, and 3 of those days are going to be 14-hour shifts consecutively. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have like 14-hour shifts. And if you don't rest well the night after a 14-hour shift and you got to do it again, it just compounds on you. And then by the third day, if you don't rest, it's going to kick your butt. And you could even like sustain injuries. I've had times where I've stood up for hours on end, and the next day I have to do it again. By the third day, I have like back pains, my knees are hurting, like I feel like some nerve damage in my feet because of the compression of my body on my heels. So make sure you rest. There's days where I don't take a shower because I'm just so tired when I get home. But if you can, it is totally advisable to take a shower just so you can take a layer of that smell off, so that you can like relax your body. Again, it's just about taking care of yourself after work. On my breaks, I try to sit down. I try not to walk far. I know a lot of guys on their breaks, they'll like walk up the street to buy food, and then they stand in line to get their food, and then they walk back. And I'm like, man, you just spent 30 minutes, walking and picking up your food. You could have used that time to rest and recuperate. Most of us here take a 1-hour lunch. So 1 hour is a good amount of time to just chill, elevate your feet so that the swelling can go down. Ice pack if you have knee issues. And you just do this and you push through the week. So there you go, guys. That's kind of the basics of how to push through a 10, 12, 14-hour shift. I know there's a lot of other creative, tips and tricks on how to do it, but those are just the basics that I deal with. Really the most important thing is to try to sit and relax as much as you can. Every time I get a moment, I will sit down. I try not to like walk around or unnecessarily stand up. Man, I really take my 20-minute breaks seriously. I found my car to be the most comfortable place. We have a chair, we have like a break room right upstairs. Those chairs are so uncomfortable. I'll sit in them for like 20 minutes, and then it's time to go back to work. And I'm like, dude, I felt like I didn't rest at all. But when I sit in my vehicle, these chairs are so comfortable, right? Because car seats are made for long distance driving, a lot of sitting. So they make them as comfortable as possible. The chairs upstairs are just meant to be, eat your food while sitting on it. They're not really meant to just, relax you. So it's not like it's a couch. If we had a couch, it'd be a different story. So, I try to sit as much as I can, take some of that weight off. 1 hour really does hit the spot. All right, guys. Well, listen, you know your worth, you know your value your time. Above all, Be safe.